right, it's 6:30. I'll make a motion to open tonight's meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Michael, do you want to lead us off with the town administrator's report?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. Just very quickly, I had my weekly call at WATD to preview select board meeting and a clinic update. Weekly meeting with PMA to review ongoing issues with police and DPW project. Bi-weekly owner, architect, and contractor meeting on the police project. Bi-weekly meeting with Fred Russell, facility director, to review issues with capital project, police, DPW, ongoing maintenance issues with schools and general government side. Hosted monthly finance team meeting. We discussed free cash, FY24 budget, FY24 capital budget, and town meeting. Interviews for select board office manager, Danielle, chairperson Darcy, and myself. Attended and participated in the Marshfield Hazard Mitigation Plan working meeting with Wood Toll, Greg Demont, our town planner, and a number of other folks. Concom meeting on library generator with Fred Russell. Participated, I'm trouble speaking tonight. Participated in the advisory board meeting where they voted on the articles for special town meeting. Meeting with Lisa Clark on our indirects. Meeting with DPW, Tom Reynolds, Dave Carrier, Dan Bowen, and Lisa to discuss the indirects. Meeting with Lynn Fiddle to review ongoing issues. Meeting at the dog park. We had a walkthrough with our architect, Casey Lee. Fred was there, our facility director, Steve Darcy, our chair, Wayne Lopes, who's volunteering some services. And conference call with Vertex on a site assessment level 1 on some property that the town may be interested in. Meeting with Paul from the Airport Commission on the special town meeting article that will be at special town meeting. Phone call with Dr. Irons on flu shots at our clinic. Finalized contract for early voting at the First Congregational Church with Pastor Bartlett. Phone call with Lisa Clark on electric car purchases for both the building and assessors department. Close to finalizing signalization of the School Street intersection. Phone meeting with John O'Rourke, who was handling a DPU case, and that is aggregate electric. I know it sounds weird to people, but that passed the town meeting 3 years ago, tied up in DPU for over 2.5 years, but it passed, and we're finally moving ahead on that. Carol and Janine, the sponsors, were very happy to hear that. Phone call with the select person Kilcoyne on an issue that we're addressing, and worked on the state of the town. Talked to Danielle Kerrigan about employee recognition certificates and a luncheon that will be later this week, and meeting with the energy consultant from SSES, which is Single Source Energy Solutions, to once again do a large purchase of electricity for the town. That is my town administrator's report.
Thanks, Michael. And then just the vaccine clinic?
The vaccine clinic's going really well. We didn't have a clinic this Saturday because it was flannel jam, but to date, since we've been open at the fair, we've done 1,517 shots, and pretty soon, hopefully by the end of the week, we'll be offering flu shots.
Oh,
So
Great.
people can get both.
excellent.
Any questions or comments, Jim?
No.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
Nope.
All right, we'll go to our first appointment, Carol Hamilton, with a Council on Aging update. So first off, Carol, thank you for hosting us for tonight's meeting in this beautiful building. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to the chance to show it off to the community on the Harding.
Thank you. So, together, just little packets for you.
Yeah.
Of things.
Love that.
Thank you.
Take it home with you.
Oh, it's a nice pack.
Nice little pen.
Everyone's nice.
So we're really pleased that you have your meeting here and to show the new building. So first I'm going to talk about our annual report that's in your packet. And we have given out our new annual report to all of you that was designed to better highlight the products and services that we offer annually. And we actually applied for a grant to the Massachusetts Councils on Aging. This past fiscal year, we had 2 marketing activities that we worked on. and one was actually the revision of this report. We worked with a local marketing firm, which was great, and we think that it came out really well, and we'll sort of use that template each year. It was also recommended by the accreditation committee that we upgrade the report to make it more user-friendly and to get the word out. So the new building received its full occupancy in March. And since then, we've been working on reestablishing programs, expanding programs, and creating new ones. The space really has allowed us to schedule programs in a more appropriate way. We've been able to increase our numbers of participants and the numbers of programs that we provide. On the nutrition front, our cafe opened March 16th of 2022. It's open Monday through Friday, 9 to 2. And we offer breakfast and lunch, which people seem to enjoy. It's been really a big hit. Our food service manager, Jim Lowell, listens to his customers, and he customizes the selections that he offers depending on the feedback that he gets. So this fall, we added some soups to the menu again, and we're also planning to unveil an entree of the week, probably fall or winter, as soon as we can. And we want to thank our volunteers that assist us in the cafe, because if we didn't have volunteers, we couldn't really operate in that area either. So they're really essential. So on the dementia and age-friendly front, we are happy to announce that as of October 20th, we're going to expand our social day program, going from 2 to 3 days a week. And it's for people that have memory loss, have dementia and related disorders. And there's some information in your packet about that. And also to assist caregivers, we offer a monthly support group. It's the last Tuesday of the month at 6 o'clock. We've also restarted our memory cafe, and that's more of an activity for both the caregiver and their loved one, and they can come and attend a relaxing and enjoyable activity together. And then we've also applied to AARP for our age-friendly status. We've been on pause, so we hope to hear back in a month or so, and we're going to really focus on that again, once again. On the volunteer front, we'll be holding volunteer recognition October 20th, which is on a Thursday from 11 to 1. I want to invite all of you to stop by and say hello to the volunteers. This year we decided to do sort of a hybrid event. It's sort of coming back, but coming back slowly, where volunteers can drive up and get a lunch and say hello, and they can stay and socialize with other volunteers. So, we've been really working on gradually building back after the pandemic. And in fiscal 22, we had 189 different volunteers. They donated 16,390 hours of service. This is a financial contribution to the town of $467,779. It's just, we could not operate without them. They're just great, and they add to the whole center, which is wonderful. So, transportation. Transportation's always been a big need and always been part of the Council on Aging. And in the past fiscal year, we've doubled the amount of rides that we've done. So this past year, you'll see it in your report, we offered 4,852 rides to our seniors. Currently in fiscal 2023, we've noticed a real uptick in transportation requests for medical appointments and things like that. So we use our volunteer transportation as well to sort of supplement what the vans can do. And we've really had a critical need for drivers. And through all of our advertising, social media, and other efforts, we've been able to add a few more volunteers to the list of medical drivers. So it's really helped. And we also partner with GATRA, Old Colony Planning Council, Old Colony Elder Services, and other supplemental transportation, which really, we try to find rides for people the best that we can, because that's important. In our social service and benefit area, it's really the heart of the Council on Aging. It's sort of the hidden jewel, but it's where people get individualized attention with benefit programs and applications. One of our big programs is the SHINE program, serving the health insurance needs of everyone, and it helps people to navigate through health insurance choices. So we did a survey of the people that received SHINE services last year, and 95.9% were very satisfied out of 117 people surveyed. So we thought that was good. We actually served 558 people in the SHINE program. And then one of the other big programs under social services, the AARP tax program, they prepared 383 returns last year, so that was good. And then part of the Council on Aging is the Council on Aging Board, and they're a policy-making board, and they really work diligently to ensure that our mission is met. And we have several subcommittees like budget, evaluation, strategic planning, marketing and outreach, governance, and age and dementia friendly. So one of our major focuses for 2023 is going to be to come up with strategies as how best to market our services. How do we educate the public? How do we make it available? We want to make sure that people are familiar with our services, they feel comfortable accessing them. And we also want to work on becoming more age-friendly. Under the technology and information front, we have a new senior center website that's linked to the town website. We have a Facebook page, and we have a fairly new software system that really has given us the ability to communicate better through, robocalls and robo-emails, and we send out a weekly update to people saying, hey, this week we're going to have this program or that, so that has helped a lot too. And we're working on a new logo, and we will be meeting the board and subcommittees to revise our mission statement and look at our goals and objectives. And then lastly, what's up this month? So in your packet, I gave a little precursor to some of the specialty programs that we offer in addition to our regular programs. We have flower arranging coming up. We have music appreciation with Jules Stein, a journey of the pilgrims, becoming a soup master. Mass Audubon is coming, doing the program on what is Halloween without bats. And we also have our ongoing lifelong learning, which kicked off in September, and there's some slots left of that. There's trips and classes and all sorts of new things, so we want to invite people. But we just want to encourage residents to come in, take a tour. It's maybe not what you think. Have a cup of coffee in the cafe, work out in our fitness room, which has become really popular. Come in to volunteer or just socialize and meet staff of volunteers. I just want to thank you for the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Carol. I remember not too long ago, this room used to function and double as your gym and fitness room at points, so I'm glad that we're beyond that and that you continue to offer and expand the offerings we have for our elderly residents. So thanks for all the great work that you do. You're doing a great job. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
Although it is a beautiful facility, really what makes something like this work is the people, not the place. And I think I want to really compliment the people, all the volunteers and the staff, because you're the one that make it special to the town and make it actually work. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, I don't.
All right, great. So our 6:35 had a conflict and can't make it, so we'll push that down the road. Our next appointment is at 6:45. So what we'll do is we'll knock out an action item. So number one is just the vote and execution of the state election ballot. Do you want to give us the breakdown on that one, Michael?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, so before you is the ballot. As folks know, this is the general election coming up for constitutional offices, for reps in Congress, councilors, reps, district attorneys, and sheriff. So the board just needs to approve this so that the town clerk can post it.
Great, thanks, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
I do not.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
I go ahead and make a motion to approve the state election ballot for Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and number two is just a discussion vote on the annual acceptance of COSO and financial policies. So I give us the background on that one, Michael?
Sure, so this is very standard. So when I first got here, Patrick and I, our former treasurer collector, put together some policies. The COSO Internal Control Framework stands for the Committee on Sponsoring Organizations, or the Treadway Commission. And they talk about effectiveness, efficiencies, reliability of financial reporting, compliance, and applicable laws. And then behind that is our consolidated fiscal policies. And normally we do this in June. I never got it on the schedule, but it's important that the board reaffirm that every single year, those policies. That's one of the big things that the companies like Standard & Poor's look at when we go out to a commitment to make purchases. They look at that. What kind of safeguards do we have? What are our policies like? So this was important, as folks know, when we went out to market in July, Standard & Poor's reaffirmed our AA plus and our +1 for short-term borrowing, so.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, as Michael said, it's pretty standard stuff, although it is very important for the reasons Michael just outlined. So we continue to accept it.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
Yeah, Michael, if it's okay with you, Chair. When was this originally, I noticed that it was voted on 5/24/21.
So usually, we usually update them every year in June, right after town meeting.
Okay.
We've been doing it, I got here a little over 5 years ago, so we started doing it then.
It's great reading,
It is,
super reading.
very dry.
I recommend it, I'll read it. Thank you, so that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Lynn. All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the annual acceptance of the COSO and financial policies of the town. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we get to our 645, which is just a transfer of an annual wine and malt license and entertainment license from Rooster's Family Kitchen to Easy and Bravo. Is there anyone here who wanted to? Yeah, absolutely.
Good evening.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
excuse me if I may want to read into the record.
Yeah, read the hearing into the record. Thank you, Michael. All right, so let's read this very quickly. Dear Attorney Baransky, the Board of Selectmen hereby serves you notice of its intention to hold a public hearing under the provision of Mass General Law, Chapter 138, for reconsideration of the amended application for change of officer / managers and ownership interest from M&M South Shore Hospitality LLC.
That's the next one.
Yeah, I jumped ahead to one.
Yep.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Mike. All right, notice is hereby given under Chapter 138 of Mass General Law as amended that there will be a public hearing on Tuesday, October 11th, 2022 at 6:45 p.m. at the Marshfield Senior Center, 230 Webster Street, Marshfield, Mass. 02050 in the dining room, function room 213, on the application for a transfer of the annual wine and malt restaurant license and entertainment license from EBL Food Service Corp., doing business as Rooster's Family Kitchen, Caitlin Amnally, manager to Easy and Bravo Incorporated, doing business as Don Bravo Mexican Grill, Maria Bravo manager. Premises located at 57 Snow Road, Unit 30, Marshfield, Mass. 02050. Premises described as a one-floor restaurant of 3,075 square feet, 2 entrances, 2 exits, seating capacity of 97, and total occupancy of 107. And of course, we are the licensing authority.
My name is Erin Nally. I'm here on behalf of Easy and Bravo Inc., who's looking to have a license transferred into their name. They closed on the restaurant last month and are looking forward to hopefully serving their wine to their patrons.
Yeah, all the paperwork seems to be in order, and we're looking forward to some more local variety on the restaurant scene, so we're excited. Are there any questions or comments, Jim?
No, it always amazes me how much you have to go through to do something like this. It's
Right.
not a, no, it's, I was like, okay, I read through it and I was like, but no, no.
Thanks, Jim. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, thank you.
All right. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the transfer of the annual wine and malt restaurant license and entertainment license from EBL Food Services Corp. doing business as Rooster's Family Kitchen, Caitlin Amnally, manager to Easy and Bravo Incorporated, doing business as Don Bravo Mexican Grill, Maria Bravo manager. Premises located at 57 Snow Road, Unit 30 in Marshfield. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good luck with the restaurant.
Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you there.
You're zipping.
Yeah, we're zipping along.
That's
Aye.
right, because we got 21 of them.
Is there anyone in the audience here for an action item that isn't, or is here for something besides the state of the town address? Yes. Which action item?
Station 8.
Oh, Station 8, yeah, so we just gotta wait till 7 because you guys are the next appointment, but we can just work through the next 10 minutes in between. Yeah, we have to wait till on the dot, unfortunately. All right, so Michael, number 3, we'll go to discussion and vote on the indirect costs for the fiscal year 2024 budget.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I mentioned, we've had a couple of meetings. We just had a meeting last week with Mr. Carrier, who's on the Board of Public Works, Tom Reynolds, the superintendent, Dan Bowen, the business manager, to go over indirects. These are the indirect, these are the costs based on 22 for the FY24 budget, their actual cost. So we went through, we made some adjustments. This is ratepayer versus taxpayer, so all of us are taxpayers. Most of us are ratepayers if you have water, if you have sewer, if you use the transfer station. So these are offsets, because some of those services that are bought with ratepayer money, this is the offset for those services that are provided. We went through it, and I'm happy to say every year for the last 5 years I've been able to make reductions. This year was no different. We had a very amicable conversation. It was easy to see. I reduced it by $81,154, and that was from being able to recognize that the DPW building on Parsonage Street no longer existed in '22. And in '22, DPW was not using Town Hall. Those two numbers, 25,409, 55,745, 81,154. When you subtract that out, the indirect cost for FY24 purposes is $1,461,534. So it had that reduction of 81,154.
Great, thank you, Michael. Would it be fair and accurate to say that there's mutual interest in appointing a commission to kind of review our indirect policy?
Yes, there is. Our indirect policy is probably one of the more cumbersome policies in the Commonwealth. Most communities have a page or two policy, which are just strictly percentages. The policy that we have right now, that we're operating under and will operate for '24, is based on not exact, but guesstimates. So that makes it hard. You know, you have to sort of keep your eye on the ball, and you have to be willing to negotiate. And it's one of the things when I come in, the board asked me to be somewhat open, because, you know, it is difficult when you got to sit down and decide, but we've always been able to make accommodations. So this year, but we did talk about, I know Mr. Carey is here, we did talk about right after town meeting, the board appointing a committee to look at that and have it in place for FY25.
Yeah. Did you want to add anything, Dave?
Yes, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Dave Carey, 30 Bartlett Road, Chair of the Board of Public Works. We did have an amicable discussion on this. We did have one instance where one piece of the problems we've had going forward has been not getting all of the backup data for the summary sheet. And there was one instance in there where, you know, there would have been actually an extra charge if we not asked the right questions in the meeting. So that's one thing that as part of the new policy that should be taking place, is all of the backup data for what comes in for the indirects should be incorporated into that. You and I have had that discussion individually, and I look forward to having a follow-up discussion and then getting to the committee.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I do know that it's kind of an arduous process each year. I'm glad that it worked out well. And I concur, I think it would be wonderful to just go to a straight for both parties. Whatever the decision is, percentage-wise, to make it clean and simple each year. So, yeah.
Thanks, Jim. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
I would agree with Jim. Thank you.
Great, thanks, everyone. All right, go ahead and make a motion to approve the indirect charges for fiscal year 2024 revenue offsets based on the fiscal year 2022 actuals. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, action item number 4 is a discussion and vote on approval of a license to Verizon and Eversource for pole anchor at 60 Regis Road. That seems pretty straightforward. Anything that we're missing, Michael?
Nope, it is pretty straightforward. I don't know if there's anyone from Verizon that's here. Nope.
Any questions or comments, Jim?
No.
Yeah, any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion
Mr.
to
Darcy, if I
approve.
might?
Yes.
You know, one of the things that is a constant issue with Verizon and Eversource is double poles. And this is the time to put a little bit of a squeeze on them whenever they come in for any kind of a petition associated with poles or support structures, you know, to do a horse trade. Take care of a couple double poles for us, too.
Yeah, you've mentioned that one-on-one before too, Dave, so I gotta digitize my notes so I don't lose them. Thank you, Dave. All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve a license to Verizon and Eversource for pole anchor for pole 419/3, 1/2 at 60 Regis Road for the Governor Winslow School property. The said license area is a portion of the premise shown on the Town of Marshfield Assessor's Records as parcel ID KO3-02-38. For licenser's title, see an order of taking dated May 8, 1961, and recorded at the Plymouth County Registry of Deeds in Book 2853, page 58. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, number 5 is discussion and vote to accept an annual recertification of small wireless facilities. Do you want to go into the background on that one, Michael?
Sure, Mr. Chairman, this is very standard. Verizon has what they refer to as the small cell. You can see them if you go up. There's one on Union Street, Pine Street, another one on Union, Foster Ave, and Parker Street. And every year they have to come before us. The board has to approve it, and they supply the documentation that they're insured.
Thanks, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, sir.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, sir.
I'll make a motion to accept the annual recertification of the small wireless facilities for Cellco partnership doing business as Verizon Wireless. Verizon with installations at the following addresses: 249 Union Street, 587 Pine Street, 566 Union Street, 56 Foster Avenue, and 28 Parker Street. Each of the installations listed above remain in use and is covered by insurance. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, number 6 is a discussion and vote on a one-day common vic license for a Bianco sausage car at Roach Brothers Supermarket on October 15th, 2022. This one seems pretty straightforward. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve a one-day common vic license for Roach Brothers Marshfield, Alley, Papa, Caracos for facility located at 605 Plain Street for the Bianco sausage cart that will be serving sausages to customers free of charge on October 15th, 2022 from 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. Pending approval from the Board of Health, the Building Department, the Marshfield Fire Department, and local property taxes must be paid. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 7, it's an application for a one-day alcohol license for the Family Crest Catering at the Daniel Webster Estate for an event on October 15th, 2022. Pretty straightforward request. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, this is, I'll be going to this is a great event. I believe it is for the shelter.
Cocktails for Critters?
Yeah, cocktails for critters.
Yes.
So,
A great event.
encourage
every year.
anyone to go to the event.
Absolutely. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve a one-day all-alcohol license for the Family Crest Catering at the Daniel Webster Estate for October 15th, 2022 from 5:30 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. for the Marshfield Animal Shelter fundraiser. Pending approval from the Marshfield Police Department and the Marshfield Fire Department, and a certificate of insurance is attached. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, this one's a one-day wine and malt license for the North River Art Society for their Halloween party and pumpkin contest on October 30th. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
No.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve a one-day wine and malt license for Julia Driscoll for the North River Art Society located at 157 Old Main Street in Marshfield Hills for their Halloween party and pumpkin contest that will take place on October 30th, 2022 from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pending approval from the Marshfield Police Department, the Marshfield Fire Department, and a certificate of insurance is attached. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is an entertainment license for the Marshfield Fairgrounds for their South Shore Celebration of Lights. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I do not.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve a temporary entertainment license and a Sunday entertainment license for Dean and Flynn Incorporated of Seabrook, New Hampshire for the South Shore Celebration of Lights at the Marshfield Fairgrounds located at 140 Main Street from 11/25/22, November 25th, through December 31st, 2022. All music will be played through car radio. Time ticketing will be used to alleviate traffic congestion with traffic attendants, pending approval from the Marshfield Police Department and the Board of Health. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, number 10, this is for a parade for the Friends of the Marshfield Dog Park. Full disclosure, I'm a member of that board, but we typically have not denied parades. So I'll just, any questions or comments, Jim?
No, I think it could actually be kind of fun, so. No, doggy costume party, let's do it.
Yeah, awesome. Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the request of Aaron Fitzpatrick on behalf of the Friends of the Marshfield Dog Park to hold their official doggy costume party parade on October 30th, 2022, starting at Stellwagen at noon, and returning there at 1:30 for the doggy costume contest, pending approval from the Marshfield Police Department and the Marshfield Fire Department. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, it is now 7 o'clock on the dot, so I'll read the public hearing notice and then we can tackle Station 8. All right, so dear Attorney Baronski, The Board of Selectmen hereby serves you notice of its intention to hold a public hearing under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 138, for reconsideration of the amended application for change of officer and managers and ownership interest for M&M South Shore Hospitality, LLC, doing business as Station 8 at 1899 Ocean Street, Marshfield, Mass. 02050, and that it meets the approval of the local licensing board. You should be further advised the public hearing will be held on Tuesday, October 11, 2022 at 7 p.m. at the Marshfield Senior Center at 230 Webster Street, Marshfield, Mass. 02050, in the dining function room 2 and 3. Please confirm that you members of the board of directors will be in attendance.
Excuse me, Chair, I need to recuse myself from this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lynn.
Hi. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Adam Warnoski, I'm an attorney for the licensee with me is Mike McDonough from the company. So you might recall this application is probably familiar to you. We were before the board in August of 2021 on the same application, which was approved by the board and went up to the ABCC. And at that point, they had returned it no action, basically due to the historical ownership. So there was a change of ownership in 2018 there was basically not an application at that point. Unbeknownst to this board, unbeknownst to the current ownership. And so what the ABCC wanted us to do was to make reference to it in our application, make the board aware of the changes of ownership, which was provided in the memo, and then basically have an approval of the same folks that have already been approved before it went up to the state. So from a consumer-facing perspective, from a municipal perspective, there's no changes to the operation. The Station 8 is running the same way it's been running, and it's the same ownership that was before you a year ago. So it's more getting the paperwork in line with what the state records show.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the update. I understand that. And paperwork is good for your practice, it sounds like.
Right, yeah, and I tried to make it as concise as possible.
Yeah. Thank you. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, once again, I'm always astounded by the amount of paperwork that needs to be achieved with things, but no, I'm not, no.
Thanks. All right. So it seems pretty straightforward, no issues, so I'll just break this down into 3 separate motions. So the first motion will be to approve a change of LLC managers from Michael Pavone to John Mahoney. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so just for the meeting records, we got a 2-0 with a recusal. Next motion, make a motion to approve a change of ownership interest from Michael Pavone as the manager and member with a 25% ownership stake to John Mahoney to be the member manager with a 25% ownership stake. Additionally, changing David Kress from a member with a 25% ownership stake to Clark Peavy as a member with 25% ownership stake. We also have a change from Robert Nerger as a member with a 25% ownership stake to Daniel Mahoney, member with 25% ownership stake. Finally, a change from George Nerger as a member with a 25% ownership stake to CME LLC as the title of member and a 25% ownership stake. And within CME LLC, the ownership is split as follows. We have Chris Wynn with 33.33% ownership stake, Michael McDonough with a 33.34% ownership stake, which is why you have to be here tonight if they don't. And then Eric Nielsen with 33.33% ownership stake. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and then finally, I'll make a motion to acknowledge receipt of the memorandum prepared by counsel for the licensee, which details the historical changes in ownership and officer changes of the licensee. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Great. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. Have a great night. And I know why most of you are here. As soon as the clock strikes 7:15, I promise we'll get to the state of the town. All right, number 11. We're going to vote on a request for permission to hold the original Grant Rock Turkey Trot.
Are they copies?
I'm sensing a theme, yeah. Maybe the Grant Rock Turkey Trot was incorporated very quickly, I don't know. But that's on November 26th. So pretty straightforward. We're always happy to support turkey trots, parades, races, all the good stuff. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, it's my favorite time of year.
Great. Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the request from the original Grant Rock Village Association to hold their turkey trot fun run, a 2.2-mile run on November 26, 2022 at noon. Started at the open lot between Rocky Roads and the old Arthur and Pat's building, and ending back at the Union Chapel lawn for food drinks, pending approval from the Marshfield Police Department, the Board of Health, and the Building Department. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, number 12 is the annual Marsh Vegas Thanksgiving Turkey themed event. Any questions or comments, Jim?
Once again, Thanksgiving is my favorite time of year.
Any questions or comments? He feels like he earns the drumstick if he does all the trots.
Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the request of the Marshfield Boys and Girls Club to hold their 8th annual Marsh Vegas Thanksgiving Turkey Trot on November 24th, 2022 at the South River School with registration from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. The race/walk, depending on who you are, will begin at 7:30 a.m. I'm a walker, not a runner. Pending approval from the Marshfield Schools and the Marshfield Police Department. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Changing pace a little bit, it's waiving some electrical permit and fire inspection fees for the water department. Again, we don't bill ourselves for fees and things that, and permits and things of that nature. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the request of the building commissioner on behalf of Kevin Reddington to waive the electrical permit fee, gas permit fee, and the fire inspection fee for 38 Grace Lane, which is the water department, for the installation of a gas line to the water department building. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Got a discussion vote, again, let's see, waive the fees associated with the application for a site plan for the Ames Way School gazebo, pretty straightforward. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, sir.
All right, any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the request from Nancy Pareja of the ZBA to waive the fees associated with site plan approval for the Ames Way School to construct a gazebo on their front lawn. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we're out of order, we're going to circle back to 14, which is another electrical permit fee. This is for a generator at 76 South River Street, as well as some exterior lighting at the Boys and Girls Club of Marshfield. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the request of the building commissioner on behalf of High Voltage Associates to waive the electrical permit fees associated with the permits for the Boys and Girls Club for the installation of the generator, an automatic transfer switch, conduit, and wiring at 76 South River Street, as well as the exterior lighting at the Boys and Girls Club for the fields and courts. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 16, some more electrical and permitting fees. Gonna go right to the motion if you guys have any comments or questions. Questions, comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the request of the police department to waive the building department fees and the electrical permit fees for the beach shed that will be installed at 35 Parsons Street. The police department is also requesting to have the fees waived for all permits associated with the replacement of the fences at the post office lot on Beach Street and the Avon Street beach lot. The old fences will be replaced with piers and rope. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 17, this is a request to place a veteran memorial sign on an existing signpost at the corner of Chandler Drive and Ocean Street. And this is from the Veterans Office. Karen, did you want to add anything further, or are you good with that?
No, if everybody understands what we're doing.
Perfect, okay. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No. It's a great idea.
Great. Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the request of our Veteran Service Director, Karen Paulette, to place a veteran memorial sign on an existing signpost at the corner of Chandler Drive and Ocean Street, the neighborhood that James Marr lived in before going to war, in memory of James Marr, who was killed in action on September 9th, 1965, while serving in Vietnam. He was just 20 years old when he died for his country. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 18, we're declaring some furniture as surplus for auction or destruction. Any questions or comments, Jim?
Everything has Alexa.
Yeah. It's always a favorite topic of yours.
No Alexa's furniture. Nope. I'm letting it go.
Perfect. Any
Based on,
questions?
based on the picture, I think we're okay.
Yeah, no scandals there.
Look at, they're served well, don't they?
Please. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the request of the DPW, Tom Reynolds, to discard any of the broken furniture left in Town Hall. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, number 19, we want to accept the donation on behalf of the Marshfield Police Department, and we're very appreciative for the Copeland Family Foundation donating $5,000 to be used for the DARE education program. Any questions or comments, Jim?
Quick one, I just always want to thank people that would take the time to donate money like that to a great cause. So, thank you.
Absolutely. Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, I'll make a motion to accept the donation for the police department from the Copeland Family Foundation Incorporated in the amount of $5,000 to be used specifically for the DARE education program. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Number 20 is a request to place a donation bin in Town Hall on behalf of our veterans agent. So, any questions or comments, Jim?
Nope, great. Again.
Awesome. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
Just where will the donation be? The bin?
The boxes, or
Yeah.
where the donation go?
Both.
The boxes will just be in the foyer. They're gonna be not too big and not in the way of anything, and it's going to the VA in-house clothing store for inpatient residents.
Excellent, thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, the box is there now, and people can make donations, and there's a list on the flyer of what people can donate.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael.
Great.
Maybe I'll read that since we have a few
Leave it
more
out on the
minutes.
desk.
Yeah. All right, so, do you want to read it, Jim?
No, go on.
You're ready to go. I have to flip through my binder.
Oh, which part do you want to read, this?
Whatever jumps out at you.
All right, so, Karen, this is for you. So it's a Veterans Drive, October 1st, November 10th, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we'll put them on.
Am I reading that right? Yep. And they're asking for following items, men's items, there'll be underwear, boxers, briefs, slippers, sneakers, things like that, socks, women's underwear, sports bras, hair fasteners, slippers, sneakers again, sweatsuits, who doesn't like those, and socks. But they also need kind of like personal items, such as calendars, denture adhesive, shampoo, mouthwash, deodorant. And they're asking, and the donations will be distributed to the veterans' clothing rooms at the Brockton VA Hospital. You can make your donations at the Marshfield Town Hall. We're going to set something up in the foyer, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
And so you can place all of those. And just, you want these to be in new condition, correct?
New.
New condition.
Yes.
I just wanted to outline that and make sure that they knew that.
Okay.
And October 1st, November 10th.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. Sorry to put you on the spot. This is our last action item before the town meeting warrant, so I figured we can't jump in straight from that to the 7:15 State of the Town. So
No, we cannot.
might as well read it off and fill some time. All right, I'll go.
Number 21's left.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the request of Veteran Services to place a donation bin in Town Hall to collect men's closet items, women's closet items, and other incidentals. Donations will be collected from October 1st to November 10th, 2022. And the collected items will be distributed to veterans' clothing rooms at the Brockton VA Hospital. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so that leaves about 12 articles for the special town meeting, so we'll circle back to that, but we got our 7:15 appointment, so we're looking good on the PowerPoint front. Thank you very much, John.
21?
That's like going through, oh yeah, actually, yeah, so 21. Great, Jim, thank you very much. Yeah, so,
Not gonna remember.
yeah, make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from the September 26, 2022 meeting.
I will second.
All right, perfect. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we're looking good. There we go, so that's just the town meeting warrant articles.
Do you want to go through that now, Mr. Chairman? It's up to you.
Yeah, just knock out number
Okay.
1, which is always
Yep.
the unpaid bills, so we can probably
Yeah,
do
we
that.
can go through a few of them.
Okay,
I'll be
cool.
quick.
Perfect.
Okay, Article 1, and this is unpaid bills. It's unpaid bills, $6,265.89 from corresponding FY '23 budget. Select Board, zoning, Board of Health, DPW, water. And these are standard articles, the bills that come in after the close of the fiscal year. The only way to pay them is a town meeting, and it's a 9/10 vote.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. I'll just go ahead and make a motion to approve Article 1. Is there a second?
Second for Article 1.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Article 2 is vote to replace FY '22 Schedule A compensation plan with the following FY23 personnel bylaw, schedule compensation A, make the following adjustments. This is very standard, we do this every fall, so our bylaw employees get whatever the unions get, so this is a 3% added to their base. So we did the chart for that.
Thanks, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
Nope, I'll second the Article number 2.
All right, any questions or comments? All right, make a motion to approve Article 2. All in favor? Sorry. All in favor? Aye. All right, so we can go to the state of the town, now that we're at 7:15.
Okay.
And the floor is yours, Michael.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, state of the town. Tonight's objectives: to review the town's overall financial health and achievements, to review the town's overall COVID-19 response, impact, and results in coping with the pandemic, highlight economic development in the town, including affordable housing, provide an update on our capital building projects, and to highlight the town's overall performance today, and to discuss how we plan to proceed for tomorrow's challenges with our 5-year plan and forecast. Fiscal year 2022 achievements: continuation of COVID-19 services through the Fairgrounds Clinic and Town Hall Clinic, secured and spent $4.5 million in CARES Act funds to provide services for our senior residents, with a new senior center bus to transport seniors, shopping for food and medication, and to purchase 2 new ambulances for our fire department. Of course, we're still waiting because they're on back order. Marshfield was one of the first communities in the county to receive ARPA funding and develop a plan to spend the funds with the support of our select board that included funding for DPW water and sewer projects, $4 million, a new fire pumper for the fire department, $700,000, and the support of our new MIH EMS program for $300,000. Fiscal year 22 achievements continued. Completion of the senior center addition and grand opening celebration took place here on June 25th, 2022. Completion of the new police station would move into the new building on May 13th, 2022. The long-awaited DPW project is underway, with half of the building steel installed and waiting for the other half to be delivered. Dog park is advancing following the spring's annual town meeting. Support for new location next to the Boys and Girls Club, adjacent to the town fields. Bids expected to go out to the market in November. The Trails Committee continues to make substantial improvements in our trails with greater access and continued expansion. The library continues to expand their services and cultural programs to meet the needs and wants of our community. This includes the pop-up library, STEM programs, and reading challenges. The senior center is open daily for breakfast and lunch in a new Sea Flower Cafe. The Munis conversion continues to move forward to provide our residents and employees a comprehensive software application that will streamline services. This is the first major upgrade in over 20 years. Grant Rock Seawall 2 was completed in September of 2022. Current state of affairs. We continue our maintenance of our town and school buildings, investing approximately $400,000 annually with the support of the select board and town meeting. We have invested over $700,000 of our ARPA funding in cybersecurity upgrades and training for our employees. We are moving forward with the installation of photovoltaic carports at the police station, the senior center, and DPW, along with rooftop photovoltaics at our school buildings, wastewater treatment center, all to keep our committee going green. We are presently working with NextGrid to replace the Martinson roof at no cost to our residents, instead financed through the photovoltaic program. We have added additional security cameras along our waterways and public buildings to keep our residents safe and secure. The harbor master is preparing for a dredge of the inner harbor to keep our commercial fleet afloat and safe. And the harbor master secured a grant earlier this summer for a commercial ice machine that will be installed on the commercial pier in a few weeks. We're one of 3 on the sea coast that will have it, so it will be a good benefit to our fishermen. COVID-19 town impact. The town continues to operate COVID-19 clinic at the fairgrounds during peak times in our town hall. Fairground clinic operates 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Town is also distributing free home test kits to our residents, also at the fairgrounds and when the town hall clinic is open. The clinic continues to provide the COVID vaccine to patients aged 5 years and up. We have just received the newly updated vaccine from Pfizer and Moderna. To schedule an appointment, you can email marshfield.com for an appointment. We continue to purchase PPE equipment to keep our first responders safe. Financial position. Town's financial health continues to be very strong, as recognized by Standard & Poor's when they upheld our financial rating of AA+ for long-term borrowing and SP +1 for short-term borrowing. Our stabilization reserves are at $6.5 million with the inclusion of free cash. These funds continue to earn interest, but just recently started to earn additional interest thanks in part to the increase of interest rates nationwide. FY 2022 free cash and retained earnings were at the highest level the town has received, in large part to our sound financial management and support by the select board of our financial policies. We moved away from market investments, and focus is now on actual cash earnings opposed to future gains, given the stock market shift and oncoming economic downturn. We continue to plan ahead as we have done over the past 6 years. Our budget controls and our fiscal policies have protected our departments and employees from layoffs and furloughs in 2020, 2021, and 2022, and no plans for either in 2023. The FY 2024 budget, we are currently putting together calls for no cuts of employees or material reduction of services. Town administrator implemented a hiring freeze to preserve current employment levels and a 10% cut to expenses. The budget controls and fiscal policies we have in place have protected our employees. We are in far better financial shape than our neighboring communities. We have 13% of our assets in reserve and have built safety, liquidity, and yield into our market holdings, which have outperformed most of the municipalities. Special thanks to our department heads who have worked with us to turn back unused budgeted dollars over 4% for 6 consecutive years, with the philosophy, if you do not need it, you do not buy it. We continue to increase our contribution to schools. With the support of the select board, the schools receive an overall contribution of $54,154,310, not including the cost of 2 additional resource offices, HVAC improvements, infrastructure, and maintenance. Strategic operation plan calls for continued conservative practices through fiscal '28. No overall revenue increases of over 3% for the next 5 years. This constraint will eliminate budget volatility in preceding years and create a stable outlook for our town. The town's budget over the past 4 years has annually increased at 2.95%, including FY '23 budget. Outlook for FY '23-24, management of fixed costs will continue, and we need to continue to monitor expenses. One area that we will continue to monitor is pension liability. As you know, we are 5 budget cycles away from Plymouth County retirement being self-funded. However, we have substantial increases in the pension expense line in the preceding years. We will continue to work with our team to manage those increases. This is one of the major reasons we cannot create new full-time positions. On June 30th, 2023, our union contracts will expire. We will begin the process to negotiate new fair and equitable contracts for our employees after January 1st, 2023, with letters of engagement to begin the negotiation process. Strategic operation budget revenue. If you take a look at the budget, you'll see actual for '21, what was appropriated in actual for '22, actual for '23, and what's estimated for '24, '25, and '26. You'll see the revenues down in that very bottom line. In the fiscal year that we just completed, FY '22, the revenue was $103,174,582. The actual for FY '23 is $106,270,225.21, and it's estimated for '24, '25, and '26. And from a strategic standpoint, it's important to take a look at and we sort of know what those fixed costs are. It's the variable costs, it's those economic factors that will drive what happens in the outlying year. You know, we're very concerned, just like any homeowner, we're concerned about the cost of gas, both gas for our vehicles, natural gas to heat our homes, oil, the cost of transporting goods, the cost of general goods that we buy every single day to make government work. So we'll need to take a look at that. If we flip to the next slide, it's the strategic operation budget expense. And you'll see the same thing, actual for FY21 appropriated, and actual for FY22, actual for FY23, and then estimated 24, 25, and 26. Very quickly, it's a balanced budget, so you'll see what was appropriated in FY22. The expenses meet the revenues, $103,174,581, and for FY23, $106,270,225 and 18 cents, and then it's estimated for the outlying years. This is a little pie chart, how we plan to make it. This gets into the actual revenues and how they're broken down. We're planning to spend actual FY23 expenses, FY23 government expenses, sort of a breakdown each sliver, and you can look down, you can see general government, public works, cultural services, utilities, unclassified. Public safety highlights. Police Department under Chief Tavares is working towards certification and accreditation, which is the gold standard in law enforcement. This professional accrediting program is an effective risk management tool for preventing and reducing loss and professional liability claims, provides a norm for judging performance, provides a basis to correct deficiencies, and promotes accountability among personnel. It also provides a means of independent evaluation of operations for quality assurance and promotes public confidence in our department. For the first time, the police department has 3 full-time resource officers assigned to our schools at the start of this school year. Additionally, the last 2 academy graduates had 2 female officers for the Marshfield Police Department, bringing the total to 5 full-time female officers, the most that we have ever had. We recently hired 2 more full-time officers that were already academy trained. This created a huge savings for us in terms of money and time. Currently, there is 1 full-time police officer enrolled in the Plymouth Police Academy that began on September 20th, 2021. The police department purchased its first ever pursuit-rated hybrid police SUV. This vehicle provides improved power and performance and has significant potential fuel savings and reduced CO2 emissions, resulting in fewer fill-ups, less downtime, keeping both the vehicle and the officers on the road. We are working hard and in full compliance with the 129-page new police reform law. We have made significant changes in our policies and procedures and have increased training inside those areas. This will be an ongoing rolling compliance with different start dates through the 2023 year. Several things will change, including the use of our part-time officers and the training that they receive. And with that, that's a very significant thing because that's a big issue now. We're no longer going to have the intermediate police officers, which was a great training ground to bring in new officers before we invest in sending them to the academy. They have the opportunity to work with professional officers and be evaluated. Same thing with the harbor master. A lot of the assistant harbor masters now, they no longer can arrest or write citations. They can still continue to patrol, but when they're out there, there's a drunk boater or somebody breaking the law, creating a wake, they've got to call the harbor master. The harbor master then has to go out there, or they can simply take the information, bring it back, and then, like you can get in the mail from the state police, they'll mail a citation to your house. So, prevent some challenges, but the chief's working through them all. Public safety firefighters implemented a strict COVID-19 screening protocol which protected our personnel and their families while allowing the department to provide uninterrupted emergency service throughout FY22. Instituted I am responding emergency response notification system that has reduced response time, simplified daily operations, enhance communication, improve incident notification, and streamline our ability to operate effectively. Consistently delivered a high level of emergency services while providing adequate staffing to meet the daily needs of our residents. Continues to provide assistance at the fairgrounds, maintain the highest level of fiduciary responsibility in the face of a worldwide pandemic and associated challenges it created for emergency service providers. MIH/EMS continues to provide services for our most vulnerable residents at their home for blood pressure checks, COVID shots, and other required and medically necessary support services. The chief, when we hired the chief, this was one of the areas that the chief wanted to get into, and we have the EMS MIH vehicle. You'll see the Ford
Tahoe, the Chevy Tahoe.
The Chevy Tahoe. It's out there, bright red, white, and you know, the staff goes out, they administer at people's homes, COVID-19, they get called out to do, you know, checks on the individuals, or they're working with the hospitals. The chief is working with Beth Israel Deaconess down in Plymouth, and, you know, part of that MIH program is hospitals get a ding every time they send people home, they have to go back, and we're trying to create a revenue stream where the MIH EMS folks go out, they administer services that the hospital would have normally done, but we can do cheaper, and then, of course, you know, we have to create a revenue stream. You know, hospitals are a little reluctant to open their purse strings and share some, but the fire department and the chief keep plugging away, they're doing a good job. Schools. Commitment to the schools begin at a 3% year plus fixed cost turnback, subject to a healthy economy. Schools have continued to make security enhancements to all their facilities, including the entrance areas. We continue to make improvements in the HVAC system at Furnace Brook Middle School. The town is committed to 2 additional full-time school resource offices, one at the Furnace Brook Middle School and one that floats between the 5 elementary schools. Schools under the direction of Superintendent Jeff Granatino and Business Manager Tom Miller have worked cooperatively with the financial team, and communication has never been better. Savings on debt service, which is really paramount. Our long-term debt service for the 3 municipal buildings originally called for a total cost of $76,799,000, $49,800,000 in principal, $26,999 in interest. And we were very fortunate, we went out on those 3 capital projects that also included funding for seawalls. We got the first time we went out to market right away, the interest rate was 1.9. Second time it was 2.1, so on average 2%, 2 cents on every dollar. So money well invested. Savings on the debt service continued. Actual debt service came in at $64,379,460. That was $49,800 in principal, $14,579,460 in interest. A savings of $12,419,540. It was also over $4.5 million in bond premium applied to reduce the tax rate impact to the community as promised in November of 2019, when the town passed an historic one-of-a-kind 4-piece municipal-only debt exclusion. If you look at this chart, you see the debt picture. Outside debt continues to decline. Outside debt is excluded debt for anyone that is wondering what that is. $49 million added to the tax rolls because of how the debt payments have been scheduled. They continue to go down. Inside non-excluded debt is also declining because of our financial planning and the use of free cash to make necessary purchases for a one-time expense. Inside non-excluded debt is what we borrow every year to cover our capital needs. There is room for the schools to purchase the building at 255 Furnace for pre-K through a debt exclusion if approved by town meeting, and the ballot box or some other type of financing if the schools wish to do. You can see from the chart, sort of illustrated to 2039, you can see everything coming down. Maintenance fund, as folks know, maintenance fund administered by Fred Russell, our facilities director. does unbelievable work. One of the things that residents were very critical of 7 or 8 years ago when we got into the new high school was that residents didn't think that the town government was doing a good job on maintenance. The selectmen 5 or 6 years ago made the commitment when I first got here to support spending a significant amount of money on maintenance, both in the general government side and on the school side, to fix things. You know, we don't want to leave things out there. Broken handles, broken windows, tiles that come up on the floor, broken blinds, you go into the gym, the pads against the walls being torn, grates being broken. So Fred has put together a fantastic report. I'm not going to read it. I'll spare everyone. Everyone can read. It's up there. Tomorrow, this will go up on the website. People can read it. But Town Hall in FY22, we spent $276,764. It's all listed out on what we had done. Monson Elementary School, $38,105.52. Library Complex, that's the library in the plaza, $52,370.28. Everything that was done there. DPW, 965 Plain Street, we had some stuff, even though that was, you know, a fairly new building, it's important that we keep up with things as they break or need repairs. Governor Winslow, $320,672. South River School, $79,829. GRA Hall, people may say, why is the GRA Hall, Grand Army of the Republic? That building's actually owned by the town. We have a long-term lease with the North River Art Society, but we actually own the building, so we partner with the North River Art Society. Part of the lease with us is that they have to, like the Daniel Webster property, they have to invest their own money, they have to raise it, and then we help them with some of the major structural stuff, and community preservation helps them. But this past year, we did $25,010 worth of repairs. Hills Fire Station, $27,855. Central Fire, $65,682. Beach Fire, $15,600. Senior Center, even though it's a new building, there was some stuff that we still have to do in the older building. It's hard to believe that this building, Carol, is 20 years old. 20 years old. But we spent $27,130. Furnace Brook Middle School, $356,609. Daniel Webster School, $38,099. Amesway School, $39,330. Marshfield High School, which is new, but there's always things that need to be repaired, $125,556. School wastewater, the high school wastewater treatment plant, that little building that you see there, they have an on-site wastewater treatment. That was $37,000. Set Ventress School Administration Building, we spent $31,350. Police Department, $28,973. Harbor Master, we spent $4,287. Animal Shelter, to keep our four-legged friends happy, $18,186. We also had some miscellaneous stuff, FY22 Airport, $162,328. People that aren't familiar, we actually own the airport. We own the land. It's managed professionally by Selcher Aviation. They also have a lease with us, but we're responsible for the main terminal building. We have to match any of the federal grants that come in. FY22 Dog Park, we've invested $5,735 in survey and design. FY22 Grant Rock Bathhouse, $15,000. We'll be doing a roof replacement very shortly on that. That is the public comfort station, the blue building, right near Grant Rock Supermarket. The Bridle Path, $24,123. Dyke Road wastewater treatment, $3,018. Airport, $151,000 to replace the terminal. The main terminal's HVAC system. Pratt Barn, we had to take that down. Clean the site, $18,700. Wrexham Beach Shed, $2,800. The rec center, $9,400. And Snow Road, we had to do some streetlights repairs for $2,100. So there's an explanation for everything there. I just read the numbers. I thought the numbers are important. But, I do want to give special thanks. Fred Russell's here, our facility director. Him and his team do great work maintaining, keeping our buildings looking great, and being clean and everything else. So thank you, Fred. Planning and economic development. Update on planning and economic development. As of October 6th, the planning department with the Chamber of Commerce is working with the MAPC on updating the economic development section of the master plan. The update is expected to be completed by April of 2023. And just so folks know, Mark Drayson, for a long time, we had 7 ties with the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. Greg Demon's here, our very able and capable town planner. Town meeting actually took a vote, I don't know, Greg, 8 years ago? About 8 years ago, the 7 ties. The MAPC is the first area planning council. They have the strictest legislation. Even though town meeting wanted us out, we couldn't get out, and we were mandated to pay money. And for a long time, we were using Old Colony Council. Mark Grayson came around, reached out to us, gave us a grant to do this economic study, and he actually called on Friday and stopped by and chatted with Greg and I, so they're happy, and we'll continue to see what goods we can get from them to help us plan economically as we go forward. Planning department continues working on beach nourishment grants for coastal zone management. The goal is to finish all federal and state local permits this year and apply for a grant with CZM in the fall of 2023, which would need a local match voted at the fall town meeting a year from now. The planning department is working with other town departments and the Woodhull Group on required to update the town's multi-hazard mitigation plan. The planning department's working with Stantec Consulting Services, completed a DHCD rapid recovery plan for Grant Rock. The planning board is looking at several zoning changes to address self-service storage facilities, possible changes to the definition section, and a zoning map change in the Philston area of the town. Modifications to Progress Way subdivision has been submitted by the applicant. The road and drainage will be redesigned as a dead-end road with a cul-de-sac with 3 additional industrial lots created along the town's Rockwood Road ball fields. Mill Creek, comprehensive permit with 270 all rental units was recently approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals. The development will be located on Commerce Way near the recently completed 248-unit Madeira development, which I believe is now called the Madison. It was sold. A modification of Proprietors Marketplace was approved by the Planning Board. The modification changed the 1.5-story retail and office building into a 3-story mixed-use building with 5 new residential units. Adelaide, a 15-lot subdivision off of Webster Street, continues to head towards completion with 11 of the lots either occupied or wrapping up construction. John Sherman Estates, 13 lots off of Main Street. Beaver Cross, 5 lots off of Union Street. And Chestnut Farm, 25 lots off of Ferry Street, are also nearing completion. Red Gold Farm, a 22-lot open space residential development of single-family homes off of Moraine Street, was approved by the Planning Board. 111 acres of the property, including trails, cranberry bogs, wetlands, and riverfront, will become town-owned open space. So that is a great project which will save for us beautiful open space area well worth the walk in there once we own it. Private school, New England Academy, off of Commerce Way, was approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals. If you go in, they're up behind the Boys and Girls Club. You can see them building. There'll be a school, and down below there'll be a field for them to play sports. A large daycare facility, Starboard, off of Proprietors Drive, is currently under review by the Zoning Board of Appeals. A total of 297 residential lots have been permitted this year. Marshfield, with funding through the Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Grant, completed a long-term coastal resiliency plan this year. The purpose of the study was to look at what policies for reconstruction the town should have in place after a future catastrophic storm event. The study area ran along the coast and included Wrexham, Fieldston, Ocean Bluff, Grant Rock, and Bay Avenue area of Green Harbor, and addressed the projected sea level rise for 2030 and 2050. The study looked at the possible damage and loss of sector and then performed a cost-benefit analysis to help determine possible mitigation strategies. Recommendations included clarifying building height language in regards to flood zone, requesting the Army Corps to conduct a hurricane and storm damage reduction feasibility study, pursuing a low-interest revolving loan program to assist residents in the elevation of low-lying homes and businesses, study the reconstruction and enhancement of the dike, improving the local flood warning system, develop a substantial damage or post-storm event coordination and permitting of reconstruction. The planning staff is working with zoning language for the 2023 annual town meeting. The town has already filed for FEMA grants for the last two recommendations. The town administrator and DPW staff are in discussions for next year, filing a grant to study the reconstruction and enhancement of the dike. While there is a longer-term effort, the work could reduce potential flood damage for over 500 homes in low-lying areas that may not have the financial means to elevate their homes. Challenges as we go forward. We must continue to monitor a number of dangerous challenges to our local, state, and federal economy. And those are just like homeowners are facing: inflation, higher interest rates. With the town, we get the higher interest rates on our investment, and then we get the higher interest rates on the cost to borrow. Supply chain, gas prices, oil prices, natural gas prices, healthcare, and retirement costs. Tonight, I stand before you to tell you that the financial health and well-being of the town of Marshfield is fit, secure, and consistent. This is thanks to our very strong and reaffirmed bond rating of AA+ and SP+1 on short-term borrowing, strong management and sound fiscal policies. We are and have been a recession-proof community for 6 years, and that trend continues. It was once said by Senator Herbert Humphrey that the moral test of government is how the government treats those who are in the dawn of their life, the children, those who are in the twilight of their life, the elderly, and those who are in the shadow of their life, the sick, the needy, and the handicapped. Our town of Marshfield has something for everyone. Thank you.
Way to avoid a Jeb Bush moment, Michael. You didn't have to ask them to clap. They just did it on their own.
That was very nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I thought that was Nancy Pelosi, but maybe it was Jeb Bush.
Please clap.
Exactly.
Any questions or comments? Awesome. All
Just
right.
a Winnie Rich Ford.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Love those.
Since Mr. Russell is here, forecasting for maintenance as we go forward, I know you work hand in hand with Michael, hourly, daily, weekly, and all of that. I'd like to understand your process a little bit more, so as we go forward and I get more accustomed to my job here, that's going to be something that I'm interested in. So I appreciate all the work. That was pretty intense, what we just looked at from your side. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Awesome, a lot of great stuff there, and people like to be negative and conspiratorial, but we're pretty transparent, and we're happy to point folks out where to look to get information that they're looking for. So.
We have a great team and great support from the board because we couldn't do it individually, but collectively we're able to do it.
Well said, great team. All right, so we're going to go through the rest of the town meeting articles. Anyone wants to go home to their families or dinner, I won't be offended. So if you guys get up and walk out, it's totally fine. Don't sweat it.
Except for Greg. We do expect him to stay the whole meeting.
Thank you, everyone.
And the chief. That shouldn't have been announced.
Last one that stays gets a raise.
This is
Wait, you
really-
want to come too? Thanks, you guys.
Thank
If you
you.
have any questions, just ask.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, you know how to empty your room, don't you?
So we're looking for a new fire chief, a new town planner. Carol, you're the only one left, so you get a promotion. 5 new titles.
And Mr. Carrier.
Yeah, way to go, Dave.
Can't promote them like
That's true. That's true. All right, okay.
Giddy up.
All right,
Okay.
ready for number 3?
Number 3, I think we did already. Oh, 3. Will the town vote to adopt Schedule B general government personnel bylaw position set forth in chart below? We added the animal inspector increase from 2,500 to 5,000. Animal inspector is the person that goes out, does the inspection, counts the animals and stuff like that. We were really down there at 2,500, very hard to get people. So we have 2 capable and able people that will be able to go out and do the inventory. I think we have 179
That blows my mind.
bonds
We have that
and
much.
thousands and thousands
I know.
of wild animals. We added one other thing, and I feel terrible. When I left, I didn't take my book. Do you remember what the other thing was? Was it the CRS coordinator? Oh, and there is going to have to be one change in the beach supervisor. It should be, it says 18 to 24, it should be 18 to 26. 18 to 26.
Michael, was it the
Scrivener's
seal,
error.
was it the seals and measures person?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Kim, seal and wait. So, very excellent. We were notified, this is the weirdest thing. I get a letter in March of 23 from the Commonwealth saying that it came upon when they were looking at the census numbers that Marshfield has exceeded the population of 20,000 people. Well, we did probably 20 years ago. So they've been
They
paying
caught up,
for
they
our
caught up.
sale of weights and measures.
Wow.
So because our population's now over 20, we're almost a little under 27,000, we have to pay and have our own sale of weights and measures. So I went out and hired the same person that does Situate, and Kingston, and Hull, and places like that. So that's 5,000, and that's offset by the fees that he charged to go in. So what is a sale of weights and measures for people to know? When you go and you buy your cold cuts at the deli, he checks all those scales. You go to the gas station, you pump your gas, he makes sure that you're really getting a gallon of gas. If you go to the DPW and you drive in and you want to weigh and pay, right, is that the correct term, weigh and pay, they make sure that the scale is appropriate, so that's what the sale of weights and measure, he puts a little seal up there and he inspects them annually once a year.
Definitely an unsung hero.
That is true.
All right, any questions or comments, Jim?
No, I do not, sir.
Good recall earlier.
Thank you.
Any
Thank you.
questions or comments, Lynn?
No, sir.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve Article 3. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Article 4, will the town vote to transfer $459,417.55 from bond premiums from the sale of bonds and bands in July of 2022 to be used for infrastructure repairs? So, bond premium, when we go out to the market and we commit to the funds, for lack of a better explanation, that is the VIG the bank gives us for doing business with them. Because we're going out to borrow for infrastructure things, then the money goes in an infrastructure account. And what that means is that money doesn't dissipate, it stays in an account until it's spent. Unlike free cash that goes to a department, and then that has to be spent by June 30th.
Thanks, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, sir.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve Article 4. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Article 5 is the annual free cash article, and what folks need to know, this the takeaway from this is that the under general government free cash, the $2,983,216, because we had great management, great economy of scale, when we put the budget together, when the end of the fiscal year is over, this is what we were able to recoup from what was already appropriated, which means the taxpayers don't have to pay for it again. It's covered by what's already approved. And so in the select board, we have a staff change, so the 40,000 is to cover the crossover with cross-training and then pay out for the person that's retiring. Professional services, those are funds that I use. You know, I need to have something surveyed. I call Fred, we need a piece of property surveyed, we need a site one assessment done, something that, you know, we need to keep government going. So that's for professional services. Police salary and wages, that will cover some short-term gaps, fire salary in the fire department. That will cover, we'll be able to get back to a third ambulance. There's been a lot of discussion. We wanted to be able to do it, so we're able to cover the third ambulance during the day for 10 hours a day, 7 days a week for the remainder of this fiscal year. fire stipends and maintenance. That is, fire department's doing their own repairs in their trucks right now. So that's the stipend for 2 mechanics and some parts that they needed. DPW gas and diesel fuel, as I mentioned, gas prices going up just from when we approved back in April to now. We'll put additional money in there. We're going into the peak season with hopefully snow and ice. We won't have a lot of snow, but if we do, the trucks have to be out there plowing, sanding, so we have to have fuel for them. Veterans Park, this is some additional money to augment some of the services for additional weeding and plantings and maintenance of the park. Utilities, oil, gas, and electric, this is to cover our costs for increase. Last week Verizon come out with electric costs going up 40%, natural gas going up 30%, so this money will cover those increased costs. CRS PPI, that is the flood insurance. That is a pamphlet that we print every year for the realtors to give out. Hazard mitigation plan, you heard me talk about in the report. We have to pay the Woods Hole group, and this will cover that bill for them. School maintenance and town maintenance, $200,000 each. Cleaning contract, we went out to bid for a new cleaning contract, and the company, the lowest bidder was $60,000 more than the company we had. So the $60,000 will cover the difference in that, and that's cleaning for the library, for town hall, for the rec department. Carol does her own cleaning here. She has her own in-house staff that does that. FAA grant match, $350. That's for $6.5 million. They're redoing all the runways. No, they're not making them longer. No, they're not making them bigger. I know we'll say that, but we'll come out that the numbers will be good. But this is FAA mandated, required redoing of the runways, the parking areas for the planes, and some other hard topping associated with that. So that is our match to that FAA grant. Tree cutting conservation, $15,000. We had that bad storm January of 29 of 2022. We had a lot of complaints from folks that live around conservation land. There's a lot of dead trees. We don't properly take care of them. DPW doesn't have the wherewithal to be able to do them all, but I talked to Tom. If I could appropriate some money, which I was able to do with free cash, we're going to test it out this year where we'll pay the DPW overtime to go in and cut back those trees based on a sign-off from the Conservation Department to help better manage that property. What happened, there were a couple of areas where a number of dead trees came down during that storm, blocked off those communities, and caused those neighbors not to have power for 2 or 3 days. So it's a pilot program. If it goes well, we'll keep appropriating money, and we'll start to better manage from a conservation standpoint the land. Police bulletproof vests, they have a 5-year life expectancy, so we need to get new ones. That's $26,241. Harbor Master boat equipment, we got the new boat last year. That was just when the market started to increase. We couldn't add on some of the add-ons that needed to be done. So this will finish outfitting the boat. You heard me mention the Harbor Master ice machine. We're also doing some additional repairs to some of the ramps around the system, and we had to elevate the ice machine to be in compliance with flooding and stuff like that, so $50,000 will cover that. School generator and electrical work. This is generators and electrical work for Governor Winslow, Daniel Webster, Amesway, and South River. It's actually $657,000, but we have some money that we're able to cover the $57,000. That's why it was asked the capital budget and the advisory how it worked out to an even $600,000. So we used some money we already had with the additional dollars. People, the question people say, well, it seems kind of expensive. It wasn't the cost of the generator, it's the cost to upgrade the electrical to be able to use the generator, which drives that cost. For Brant Rock, I know we had Brant Rock folks here. The Brant Rock bullnose design, this is the final design, $120,000. That's on there. DPW stormwater mapping for $40,000. DPW crane, the crane on the new building that's being built, The crane's very important. It runs the side of the building. It takes the sander out of the dump truck or puts the sander into the dump truck or lifts anything else. Mr. Carey is here.
It is a bridge-type crane so that we're able to move things back and forth crossways within the garage. It also will have enhanced use with the fire equipment as well to elevate that, because most of those vehicles are heavier than even most of our dump trucks are with the sanders on them. It's a big deal not to have a dump truck come in with freshly broken down, pull into the garage, and there you are with a full sander on board trying to elevate it to do maintenance. And most of the time coming in off of being out on the road, that sand is rock salt and sand together, and it tends into burn a rock.
Yeah.
So being able to actually elevate it, move it over, and let it sit inside the thaw out is a help too.
Yeah, it's a great efficiency gain.
Enhances snow and ice action quite a bit to have that equipment.
Thank you, Mr. Carey. Veterans Wall maintenance in the South River Park, not to be confused with Veterans Park, is that beautiful wall of people from Marshfield to went to serve our country. The $11,000 is to do some enhancements to that wall, some name correction, and adding some additional names. So that's $11,000. Library rug and asbestos. So ever since I've been here, the library, and even when I was a selectman going way back, library wanted to, it's the original rug that's in there, they wanted to replace it. We had to go out and do it testing. Fred brought a testing company in to test for asbestos. It was hot. So now that we know the asbestos there, we have to remove it. And the rug, the asbestos removal, we have to hire a moving company to move all the books, put them in boxes, put them in storage, take the shelves down, put those in storage. Then they remove the rug, remove the asbestos, put the new rug, and then everything's reversed to go back. The slowest time of the year is from like the second week of December through the end of January. We're anticipating in 4 to 6 weeks. We're hoping to get it done in 4. So the library would have to be closed during that time to the public. So that will cover that project. Library generator and electrical. As folks know, we get ready to tear down the old police station. The generator there was about 8 or 10 years old. Still had a good 10 to 15 years of life expectancy. We moved that over to the library. We have to do some electrical enhancements to be able to carry the power and to make the generator work in the library. That's significant because during that storm on the 29th, we opened up the library to warn people. They could go in there and charge their phones. And that augmented town hall being open, the senior center. Although Carroll got the most people because people were able to come here, not only charge their phones and be in a warm place, maybe get some entertainment, read a magazine, but they were able to get sandwiches and hot coffee. So we had a lot of people come here. Next, utility truck, $30,000 for out of water retained earnings. Water mapping, $40,000 out of water retained earnings. Water main, Dyke Road crossing, that's a water main replacement, Mr. Carey, $125,000. A camera truck. Camera truck is a camera to go into the sewer line. I don't think anyone wants to put a suit on and go in there, but the camera truck will inspect the sewer lines and the water lines, or just the sewer lines?
Normally, they just use, we do not put them in water lines.
No.
Because you'd have to decontaminate it before you'd ever, but we do use it also within the town's drainage system when we have an issue as well.
Great, thank you, Mr. Carrier. Ray Pack heater, $55,000, and that's one of those big heaters. It's up on the wall and it blows the air. And finally, the excavator. Anyone that goes to the transfer station, they see the big excavator in there moving the trash. The excavator moves the trash around, loads up the trailer trucks to cart the trash away. The excavator that there has been broken down numerous times over the last half a dozen years, and it's time to replace it. We can't be without it because they constantly have to be packing the trucks and getting stuff out. So that's $255,000, and that's out of solid waste retained earnings. So in totality, free cash between regular free cash and retained earnings, we're spending $3,658,216.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No.
Any questions or comments? I'll make a motion to approve Article 5.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Article 6, will the town vote to authorize the selectmen to acquire by gift, purchase, or eminent domain the property consisting of a certain parcel of real property, 1.2 acres of land located 255 Furnace Street in Marshfield, assessors parcel F10-05-04, premises being the land described in the deed recorded at Plymouth County Registry of Deeds, Book 50806, page 168, for educational and school purposes, small b in parens, raise and appropriate, transfer from available funds, and/or borrow a sum of money for the acquisition of said land to upgrade and renovate the existing building at any cost relative thereto. C, small c in parens, authorize the select board and the school committee, town administrator, and/or such other boards or offices as they deem appropriate to apply for and accept on behalf of the town funds, gifts, and grants, including grants for reimbursement of any federal, state, or private program, and to enter into any and all agreements and execute any and all instruments to effectuate the foregoing acquisition and defray a portion of the amount appropriated under this article, which may defray by reimbursement following acquisition or take any other action relative thereto. And basically, this is the school wants to purchase this building to do a pre-K program. And the purchase price was $1,025,000. They were asking $1,045,000.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, sir.
Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, I'll make a motion to approve Article 6. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 7, will the town vote upon the recommendation of the Community Preservation Committee pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44B, to appropriate the sum of money from the FY23 Community Preservation Fund reserved for the support of affordable housing and to fund the purchase and installation of generators at Marshfield Housing Authority, elderly housing complex, or take any action thereto. And this will allow community preservation funds to be used for backup generators to Grace Rider and T-Rock Gardens. It's been evident in a number of storms, most recently in that January 29 storm. There were elderly people in those buildings. They have oxygen machines. Because there's no generator when the power goes out, it's hard for them to get those oxygen machines to work. So this is money well spent to make sure that those facilities to deal with our most vulnerable citizens have generators.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, sir.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
That's right.
I'll make a motion to approve Article 7. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Article 8, will the town vote upon the recommendation of the Community Preservation Committee pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 44B, to appropriate the sum of $126,000 from the FY Community Preservation Funds reserves for open space and/or undesignated fund reserves for a passive recreational trail across from Harbor Park and Grant Rock, or taken any action relative thereto. And this is creating the walking trail up on top of the DSA berm on the east side of the Joe Drebeck Way across from Harbor Park.
Thanks, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, sir.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
That's right.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve Article 8. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 9, will the town vote to increase the FY 2023 wastewater budget appropriation by the sum of $100,000 from $3,822,132.76 to $3,922,132.76 to fund the reserve fund account. Said appropriation to be met by transferring the sum from the wastewater enterprise retained earnings or take any other action relative thereto. This was replenishing of a reserve. If I get it wrong, Mr. Carrier.
Because we used the reserve as part of
Yep.
the Plymouth Avenue repairs.
Great, thank you, sir.
Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, sir.
Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, I'll make a motion to approve Article 9. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 10, will the town vote to appropriate the sum of $151,345.27 from the unexpended funds initially borrowed to finance costs of the Spring Street Water Main construction project as appropriated under a vote of the town passed October 25th, 2016, Article 10, which project is now complete and for which no further financial liability remains, and transfer said sum to pay cost of repairing the water main that crosses Dyke Road Bridge, including all costs incidental and related thereto, or take any other action relative thereto.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
I'll make a motion to approve Article 10. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 11, will the town vote to amend will the town vote to amend, I have my reading glasses on, will the town vote to amend the vote under Article 16 of the April 25th, 2022 special town meeting, which appropriated and authorized a borrowing of $3 million for the cost of repairs and improvements to the forced sewer main and related equipment on Plymouth Ave, including all costs incidental and relative thereto, of which $2 million has been issued as bonds to provide that the remaining $1 million authorized and unused is appropriated for sewer repair projects, including all costs incidental and relative thereto, or take any other action. And Chapter 44, Section 20 of the General Laws, the town moves to reappropriate the million and yet to be borrowed funds initially approved to finance cost of Plymouth Ave. Mr. Carey is here, he can probably give a far better, but they want to reinvest that in other areas to replace the aged sewer.
And if you folks had previously asked what our going forward programs were, this is to support a portion of those going forward programs. You know, where we have additional sections of line that will either be lined or dug up and replaced.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, sir.
Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, I'll make a motion to approve Article 11. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 12, will the town vote to allow the Department of Public Works to accept and combine American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, funding in conjunction with various other types of accessible funding to cover the cost of repairs of water, wastewater, and drainage systems. So, the ARPA has very strict rules. Unlike CARES Act, they really tightened up. So, in order for the DPW to commingle funds using ARPA money or the state SRF
SRF. State
SRF
Revolving
funds, we need this article to be passed. It's really a housekeeping. The ARPA, the federal government, requires that town meeting, if it's a town, take a vote, or city council, take a vote that we're allowing funds to be commingled.
Great, thanks, Michael. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
No, sir.
Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, I'll make a motion to approve Article 12. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the last two are just petition articles, which historically we don't
We
take a
don't.
position on,
Correct.
so that wraps up that action item. And with that, I will make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Yeah, just one question.
Yes.
Sorry, I was here for Article 9, action item 9, but I came in seeing the agenda. I didn't think it was, the action item's going to start until after 7:20.
Oh, sure.
So I didn't know if there were any questions or if that had been voted on or not.
That's a South Shore light show at the fairgrounds.
Dean, are you Dean?
Yes.
Okay, Dean, how you doing? Nice to see you.
Yeah, we approved it, so you guys are good to go. We're excited to have it.
Yep.
Did you have anything you wanted to ask?
No, I did the Christmas one last year. It was
Yes.
fun.
No,
I assume it's very
Just wanted to make
similar.
sure.
Yeah, I assume it's
Yeah,
very-
totally cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Awesome. I'll take that as a compliment that you thought we wouldn't be there yet.
Yes. Great job, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks. Do we make it through okay with the motion to adjourn, Kate?
No,
I don't think
you
you-
brought us,
Yeah.
would you re-motion?
Yes.
Second?
Thank you. Yeah, I'll make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you.